Some of you may have noticed I'm drinking beer instead of Negroni. That's because I drink a very specific type of Campari, and it's currently stuck in a shipping container in the Strait of Hormuz. You with me, buddy?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, just try to, remember what you're here for.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Buck was here last time out, and it was great. I missed that, having somebody who was very responsive to the material. So we're kind of trying out my writer, Ben Warheit, as sort of a correction sidekick.
Which one was Buck?
Which one was Buck? The cameraman, the really big laugher?
You mean Buckwald? Did people call him Buck?
Australian animals aren't toxic, they're venomous. People who leave YouTube comments are toxic.
Yes, please.
What was that?
I was trying a catchphrase.
Yes, please.
You are more than welcome.
No, sorry, I wasn't saying yes, please keep doing it. I was saying yes, please is what your catchphrase is going to be?
You've lost me.
Sherlock Holmes would not have used the metric system. England didn't switch to the metric system until 1965, so that's just a fun fact.
Fun? Fun how?
It's just a...
How is that fun?
It's just an expression.
What does that mean?
The Bugatti, your graphics, this was a comment, the Bugatti your graphics team put behind Jimmy Carter is the EB-110, which debuted in 1991. Jimmy Carter left office in 1981. This correction was not left in the YouTube comment section. It was told me in person by my doorman, Lou. He was like, hey, Mr. Myers, you gotta learn about your foreign cars.
Is Lou real?
What?
Is Lou real, or is that just for the joke? Did you make him up?
It's just... I mentioned my dad in a closer look on Monday and showed this photo. That's not my dad. I don't know why we didn't use my dad. And so I asked Sal why we didn't use my dad, and my dad asked how much he was going to get paid. And then we said he wasn't going to get paid anything, and he said, well, then you can't use my likeness. And so then I called my dad, and I was like, what gives? And he's like, someone in this family doesn't say yes every time NBC tries to f*** them. Someone wrote, I like this show, and this was in reference to our hiatus. I like this show, though Seth takes more time off work than Mother Teresa. Was she famously lazy? Was Mother Teresa known as just like busting out on vacation? Beetlejuice shows up if you say his name 3 times. Candyman, to show up, you have to say his name in the mirror 5 times. And if you want Ben to show up for corrections, you got to text him 100 times.
I had it on silent.
Yeah, it's a work day. We had a thing about how gorillas don't cry. Somebody wrote and said, gorillas don't cry. And I said, have you tried telling them that Jane Goodall died? And then people said Jane Goodall famously studied chimps. Diane Fossey was the one who studied gorillas. Fossey studied gorillas' eating habits, their mating habits, and all that jazz. This is just an interesting story that came up. Somebody mentioned it. So there was a Far Side cartoon, 87, and it was a couple gorillas, and it said, "Well, well, another blonde hair, conducting a little more research with that Jane Goodall tramp." So, okay. There.
Good.
So anyway, this was published, and the Jane Goodall Institute wrote an angry letter about it. To refer to Dr. Goodall as a tramp is inexcusable. The cartoon was incredibly offensive and in such poor taste that readers might well question the editorial judgment of running such an atrocity in a newspaper that reputes to be supplying the news to persons with a better than average intelligence. The cartoon and its message were absolutely stupid. Gary Larson felt terrible about this. And he pulled this cartoon and he would not republish it. And the National Geographic asked if they could print it. And he said, absolutely not. And then someone at the National Geographic said, you know what? My friend Jane Goodall, I bet this did not come from her. And sure enough, they reached out. Jane Goodall hadn't seen it, and she loved it. And her and Gary Larson started a lifelong friendship, and she actually wrote the foreword to one of his collections of books. And so that's just, I don't know, it's just a nice story. You know what I mean?
Is it a fun fact?
What do you think your role is? Like you're coming off as like very surly.
You asked me to come here. You said to do a buck roll. You want me to fill a role of the man who's not here anymore.
All right.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay. Someone we talked about Jeffrey Dahmer. We mentioned him. We talked about how Jeffrey Dahmer's eating habits were no more obscene than anybody who would eat, pineapple on a pizza. A jackal wrote in, do you know what Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite restaurant was?
Five Guys. Jeffrey Dahmer famously feasted on the flesh of men and boys. No women. Five Guys.
All right. This is your last corrections.
Ever?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get paid to do corrections ever again?
You want to know something funny? Nobody gets paid for corrections. See me next week.